Thank you, my African brothers and sisters. To those of you who are allowing me to come into your homes by the medium of television, I want to welcome you also. I'm going to talk to you today about what it means to economically develop and empower black people, especially in order to save black young males. Let me start off by making an observation. I'm going to ask a question of you in the studio audience, which I must give a special thanks for your attendance, and to those of you who are at home. I'm asking you, how many times have you been to Chinatown, whether it be in San Francisco, Montreal, London, Paris, Rome, or in New York? All of these communities have Chinese communities. And when you go to Chinese communities, you never ask the people there whether they're Chinese. You look at them and you know they're Chinese. I look at you and I'm addressing you, my beautiful African brothers and sisters. How do I know you African? Because I'm looking at you. Those of you at home I can't see, but those of you who have melanin, those of you whose ancestors came from the continent of Africa, we won't get into the Italian Africanus, you know, that's too long a story. I've been to Africa many times, and from Cairo to Cape Town, everybody on that continent refers to it as Africa. So I refer to it as Africa. And I refer to the people with melanin there as African. Those people who are Europeans are intruders, and they are not African. I don't care how long they've been here, they are not African. I don't care how long you've been in the United States. I'm talking about brothers and sisters with melanin, are not American. If you stay here for another 1,000 years, you will never become an American. Now, I don't care that you want to be an American. I don't care that you have taught your children or try to think of yourself as American. See, I know from my world travelers that I have been in all the places I named, plus at least 1,000 others around this globe. And when I run into Chinese people and I have asked them, what do you see when you look in the mirror? They say, I see a Chinese man or a Chinese woman or a Chinese boy or a Chinese girl. I happen to know that there are Africans here in America who call themselves a whole lot of strange names like Negro, colored, Afro-American, African-American, which is the latest thing in vogue, which is totally erroneous, that what the usual black in America sees when he looks in the mirror in the morning, he hopes that he sees someone who is American. He knows better, but because he has gone to schools with white curriculums, because he has gone to church with white Jesus, Mother Mary, and God, he thinks of himself the same way the people who invented it think of themselves. They think of themselves as European. African people in the United States do everything they can to be as European as they can be. They try to dress like Europeans. They try to walk like Europeans. They try to talk like Europeans. And unfortunately, they try to do their hair to look like Miss Anne. Of course, they tell you that the reason why they do that is simply because it's the style. Well, you're looking at me dressed like an African with my hair in its natural state, And I do that because I am the style. I do not ask anybody to set a style that I would follow. I do not consider myself a follower. In order to talk about empowerment, we have to talk about wealth. I'm not talking about money. We have a lot of African people, black people, people with melanin, who have a lot of money, but they don't have any wealth. Oh, shoot, Nahaz, what you talking about? We don't have no wealth. I owns a car. I even owns a house. That have nothing to do with wealth. Wealth is when you own, operate, and control a landmass. See, all wealth, like all revolution, springs from something. All revolution springs from the barrel of a gun. But man, we had revolution when we had Reverend King. That was revolution. That wasn't no revolution. Anybody who thinks it's a revolution is an idiot at best. I'm being kind when I call him an idiot. That was no revolution. And every little bit that they gave you during that time, they are now in the process of taking back. And the reason is, it was not a revolution. You never fought for nothing. You know, to claim that you fought for something because you went downtown and let people put water hoses on you and dogs on you and beat you with sticks and clubs and kick you and have horses trample on you, and you tell me you were fighting? Oh man, shoot, you just don't have, you don't love nobody. I do not love my enemy. There are people in the living rooms around this country who are seeing this, and certainly in this studio audience, who can remember that during World War II, they made you, they insisted that you hate the Japanese. You were around calling them. I heard you. Them old dirty yellow Japs. I don't like them. I don't like nobody who don't like white folks. That's sick. Sent you off to fight people that you had never called you nigger. White folks call you nigger then and now. But they wanted you to hate Japanese people because Japanese people was white folks' enemy. They wasn't black folks' enemy. I'm trying to make you understand something, because we got to pull the covers off of some things. You see, when you was in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, they trained you the same way they trained the horses and the cows and the dogs. They trained you to have great respect and honor people that they, I'm talking about white people now, that they called doctor. See, anybody who could read, write, and count even a little bit, they called them doctor. Come on in, doctor. Now, they dressed him up, gave him a top hat, frock coat, and told him to go out there and talk to the black people and deliver the black people unto us. You see, you gonna be our protection. Well, that game ran out in about 1900.